Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
Right, it's Taylor 500 help for all your heating, air conditioning, duct cleaning, anything you need. You can find at Taylor 500 help. You call the guys, they send someone out immediately. That's what I love. I know when my air conditioner broke down about a month or two ago, they had a guy out within 20 minutes. Thank goodness, because it was hot that day. So I just want to tell you, excellent service, the best guys in the business, so easy to deal with. Taylor 500 help since 1947. Whatever it is you need: duct cleaning, air conditioning, heating, plumbing, home energy, comprehensive maintenance plans. And of course, they have financing. And if you need a job, they have jobs, right? HVAC techs are looking for those guys, plumbers, project managers, or women. They don't discriminate. Office personnel as well. It is Taylor 500 help. If you want your lawn to look fantastic, why not go to the best in the business? Why not go to the professionals that can help you make your lawn look that way? Precision Lawn and Garden, 195 North Avenue in Webster, open weekdays 8 to 5 and Saturday 9 to noon. Precision Lawn and Garden has been providing Rochester and the surrounding areas professional sales, service, and parts since 1969. You go up there and you see Kimberly and Justin, and they will set you up with everything you need to have your lawn the envy of the neighborhood. And of course, if you want your driveway to be the envy of the neighborhood, and why wouldn't you? Express Sealers. Nothing makes your curb appeal look nicer than a freshly sealed driveway. I know when I go out and show houses, the best thing about curb appeal is when you walk up and the driveway doesn't have a bunch of cracks in it. It's not falling apart. You don't want that, specifically if you're going to sell your house. You want to get the best dollar you can, and you come out and have Express Sealers seal your driveway, and it's going to look fantastic. They're not a fly-by-night company. They do a great job. They go all over. They go west side. They go east side. They go over where Tom lives in the west side that we don't call the west side skates. 645-2010. That's 645-2010. Make sure you support our advertisers because they support the We the People Podcast Network.
It's Chai.
Whatever.
Live from the We the People broadcast studios in cloudy 75-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Skates.
She loves puppies, kitties, long walks on the beach,
Nice.
disco dancing,
Woo-hoo!
and of course, kicking ass.
That's it.
Here she is. It's Kimberly Ray.
Hey, it is Kimberly's Revolution. The We the People Podcast Network is where we are today. I am joined by with
Chai.
Tom from Gates. The We the People Podcast Network coming to you from Irondequoit, 530 Titus Avenue, where we're going to have a little soiree coming up September 24th. It's a Friday. Everyone is invited. I'm like, what the hell? Did Chad lose his mind last night?
Well, I looked at it and then it crashed.
Oh, is that okay?
Yes.
How many? Is that 7 years or 13 years of bad luck?
By the look of the mess on the floor, it's probably the rest of our lives.
I know it is. It is everywhere. We have Austin, who is here with us today. Of course, Austin.
Hello.
There he is.
Hey,
There's Austin.
He finally got it right.
I know.
Hey, and I'm making sure things are running right now. So look at me. I'm the best.
So what's going on? Are we a little glitchy today?
I'm not sure. I think it must have been an internet issue, but we are up and live right now, and that's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
Little pat on the old back there, Austin.
Yeah. No, I'm getting stuff done.
That a boy.
All right. So So since we left, I just want to give first off something that we did not get to yesterday.
We didn't get to something.
We didn't get to something.
Wow.
And by the way, President Biden is going to speak to this afternoon on the debacle known as the departure from Afghanistan. There are a couple of crazy pictures that have come out within the last 24 hours. I don't know if you've had a chance to see them. If you're watching here on Kimberly's Revolution, you're not going to see these pictures on regular television. You're not going to see the video. And I think I sent you the video of all the gunfire. That was the tweet from Laura Logan. Did I send you that, Austin? I don't know if
I don't think you sent me that one.
I don't. Okay. Well, I can show you. But it's on my Twitter. But if you look up Laura Logan, you can probably find the video of there's just massive gunfire last night after the last guy exited Afghanistan, and we have his picture here too. But I think since Sunday, so we had how many shootings? We had a double shooting overnight. And yesterday afternoon, in the middle of broad daylight at Avenue D in Harris, we had a man shot down in the middle of the road. Shot down execution style, Avenue D in Harris Street. It was along with a separate double shooting last night that occurred on Sherman Street. It's the third homicide in the city of Rochester in 3 days. It goes along with 5 weekend shootings with 2 homicides over the weekend, which again would make that, is it 4 homicides in less than 78 hours? And there were 2 homicides and 4 shootings on Thursday. So there's been 18 shootings, 5 of those fatal in less than a week. Have we heard from the mayor of this city?
Do we have one?
Is she still around? Can anyone call
Hello?
and find out at City Hall if Mayor Lovely Warren or the police chief is in charge?
Hello, is this on? Hello?
I mean, I know that once Lovely exits the building, her minion of a police chief will probably follow suit. But I just wonder, where is Lovely Warren and where is the police chief of Rochester, New York? The RPD. Is she gone? Is she on vacation? Are we paying attention to the homicides? Again, We had the report a month ago. Rochester rivals Chicago statistically for the amount of murders. Not making it up. You can look it up. You can't argue those facts. It's facts. Can't argue science. Can't argue fact. Right?
Little cabal.
So
is it safer to be in Cabal or the city
Kabul.
of Rochester?
It's Kabul.
Canoe.
It's Kabul. But yeah, I mean,
Cabal.
is that no news station is listing. In fact, did they lead with the triple shooting overnight?
No.
One not related to the other, but 3 shootings, 1 homicide. Did they lead with that? No. What did they lead with on the morning news this morning? On all of the local channels.
I don't watch morning news.
Masking for your children.
Masking for your children.
Masking for your children. In the meantime,
yeah.
There is blood, rivers of it running through the streets of Rochester. But we're more concerned about masking our children, which is child abuse. That's not really my game. I don't really play.
You're not the mask queen.
I don't really play in that arena. I leave that to the people who are as experts. I don't have a dog in that fight anymore. My doggie is 23. She is a grown woman. I don't worry about whether she's masking or not. I don't have children in school, so it's not one of those things I'm going to get into the weeds and fight over. I leave that to Chad Hummel, and I leave that to Shannon Joy, and I leave that to others, Christina Higley. I leave that to them.
Sure.
But we have blood in the streets of Rochester, but we're just concerned about COVID. We're concerned about, Louisiana, New Orleans, they're a whole other state. They'll take care of themselves. They've been through this before. They've been through hurricanes. They're not a stranger. The levees held. Yeah, they're out of power. We've been out of power here in Rochester too. You know what? We can survive. Stay out of the streets at night. Don't loot, and no harm can come to you. But that was the lead story. Masking your children, the power outage in New Orleans, and then a slight mention of the killing overnight and the shootings.
How many are we up to now? We over 40?
49.
We're almost to 50?
49 homicides so far this year
record?
In Rochester, and we're just worried about masking.
Do we know what the record is?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't know what the record is.
Well, maybe somebody will let us know.
I don't know. But anyway, so that is a situation that we're in here in Rochester. And again, it's not really It's not really politically correct to talk about everyone dying in the streets of Rochester when you've got a mayor and a police chief. This is directly their responsibility. What are you guys doing?
Not a thing.
Is the mayor too busy trying to find a new place to live? I don't know if her house is under contract. Maybe I can look at that later. Patty Bardine, if you're watching, look up on the MLS and see if Mayor Lovely Warren's house is under contract. You know where it is. If you don't, text me and I'll text you back. I can't think of the street right off the hand.
Woodman Park?
It's Woodman Park. It's 93. You got a mind for this kind of stuff.
I only can think of houses.
Tom, you got a mind for this kind of stuff.
I'm all about houses.
You like my disco shirt?
I do.
Disco. Yeah.
Disco Inferno.
I was made in the late 60s and 70s off this kind of music. So yeah. All right. So I want to start with President Biden is having a press conference on the departure out of Afghanistan, the last man out of Afghanistan, the last American soldier. There are 200 plus American citizens left behind, not to mention the canines.
Right.
Oh, that makes me so mad.
Yeah.
They left the freaking dogs. They got the Afghan men out because that's important. We saw that shot last week, right? We saw that shot of all the Afghani men on that plane, not women and children, but all the Afghani men. I'm sure none of them have ISIS or terrorist ties.
No.
I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they were fully vetted. I'm sure there is no problem with that.
Nothing
whatsoever.
to see there.
Nothing to see. Move right along. Move them into, you think they're moving him into the Hamptons or maybe Martha's Vineyard or, wherever the hoity-toity go to vacation? Do you think they're moving them anywhere? Maybe Boca Raton?
Probably not.
No, you know where they're moving them? Into the cities.
Yeah.
That's where they're moving them. But, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We gladly accept the refugees.
Sure.
You're poor and downtrodden, right? That is what America is all about.
Absolutely.
But don't come hollering that terrorists are in the mix.
So we left the Germans. Is that what you're saying?
We left the
German Shepherds.
We left the German Shepherds. There it is. There it is.
That's the most disgusting thing ever.
There, if you weren't pissed before, and I don't know how you couldn't have been, with the death of 13 servicemen and women, and Biden checking his freaking watch because he's got things to do. This should anger you. They're all ready to go, but they left them there. And the American Humane Society, and if it were PETA, I might have a different take on this because you never just can tell if PETA is telling the truth. PETA, for the most part, will blow things out of proportion. The American Humane Society, not so much. That's where the picture came from. Slammed President Biden for leaving the contract dogs behind in Afghanistan to be tortured by ISIS and the Taliban. And don't you think they won't?
Well, yeah.
Don't you think they won't terrorize those dogs?
I don't think those dogs are going to take too kindly to new owners either.
They'll shoot them in the head.
Yeah, probably.
They'll shoot the dogs. They'll put them right down. Animal rights group saying, the American Humane Society, we are devastated by the reports that the American government pulled out of Kabul and left behind brave U.S. military contract working dogs to be tortured and killed at the hands of our enemies, according to the American Humane President and CEO, Robin Ganzert. These brave dogs do the same life-saving work as our soldiers do, and they deserve to be treated right. And now, of course, their fate is set in stone unless we get them out, unless they're already in progress of getting them out.
Why can't they just use the helicopter behind them?
It doesn't look like it's working.
It's not.
It doesn't look like it's all in one piece.
Couldn't they load up the helicopter with the dogs and fly them out?
So there is where we are. That is the most devastating picture, along with the picture of Biden looking at his watch while those men and women and their caskets arrived back on U.S. soil. That is, yeah.
That's a horrible look.
I got to show you. Do we have the picture of the New York Post? That is a picture to be seen worldwide. Right there. Right. That is so disgusting. And then to know that there are 200 men and women that still cannot get out of Afghanistan, had no way to get out of Afghanistan, are being told now, don't go through the government, find your own way out.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Well, are those 200 people, could they be dual citizens? You know, could they be went to college here?
I don't know. They are American citizens.
But they
are American citizens.
They could be Afghanistan citizens too.
I don't know. But here is a picture of one of the dogs. There is one. Do you see the dog there?
I do.
Yeah. That is one of the dogs that was left behind. Right there.
Disgusting. And by the way,
can you tell
President Biden's got to know better? I know that may be a nervous tick or something that he looks at his watch, but he did it numerous times. You just, if you're the president of the United States and millions of eyes are on you, you just got to know better. He
doesn't know better because he's cognitively
right.
on the decline.
Yeah.
He's cognitively impaired.
They're going to pick
There is something wrong with President Biden.
They're going to pick on any little thing that you do. You just got to know it's coming, and you just stand there and you know, even if you don't want to be there.
I don't think he gives a rat's ass. I don't. Can we see the picture of the last guy out? I think he is. There he is. Is that night vision glasses that someone took the picture? I don't know. It's weird.
I assume so. Yeah, that's a
Austin.
green.
You think? Yeah, it's a green, like looking through a picture through a night vision something. But he is Major General Chris Donahue, commanding general of the 82nd Airborne Division.
Oh, he did a good job, huh?
Out of Fort Bragg. Yeah, Major General Chris Donahue.
Is he going to get promoted when he gets back? Or court-martialed?
What do you call these guys? Major General? Is that what you call him? Major General?
General.
You left the dogs behind.
Yeah.
Did you forget them? What happened? I know you got the human beings out. Yay, you. Where are the dogs? You couldn't load them up on one of those flights out? You had to leave them there?
I think they would have sat on people's laps, right? Just let them jump in the plane.
I mean, I don't know how many it looks like.
Maybe it's against regulations if they don't have a seatbelt in a proper carrier.
Right. They were loading those people on cargo planes. They didn't care. They just get them in and get them out.
Yeah.
Get them in and get them out. But I mean, I just don't even know what this country is about anymore. I don't know what to say.
Well, we're assuming it's true, right? I mean.
Well, I think when it comes from the American Humane Society, I think it's true.
Yeah.
This picture.
Maybe they were just kind of waiting there and then they ended up getting them after all.
This picture has not been shown. I think Fox News has it and the Daily Mail. It has not been on any network news this morning. This morning, I turned on network news. They went live to New Orleans. Afghan story, second in line.
Al Roker still in the ocean somewhere.
I don't know.
Lose Al?
He's swimming.
Al,
he's somewhere.
Al, where are you?
But in the meantime, President Biden is blaming his Joint Chiefs of Staff and the State Department for how messed up the departure out of Kabul was.
Of course he did.
Okay, so he's blamed Trump. He blamed State Department officials, and now he's blaming his Chief of Staff. Chiefs of Staff. Is it Chiefs of Staff or Chief of Staffs?
I don't know.
No, I think it's Chiefs of Staff.
Somebody's getting fired.
How many people are you going to blame?
Or promoted.
Sir, you are the leader of this country.
Mm-hmm.
It is you and only you.
The buck stops here.
Who can, as President Harry Truman said, out of my home state of Missouri.
Bruckner.
You know.
You keep calling it Gates. You keep calling it Gates. I'm going to keep calling it Bruckner.
But it's not. There's another town called that.
Is there?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, so
that's show me state.
He's the guy that calls all the shots, or is he? I don't think President Biden is the guy. We said that.
No.
We said that yesterday.
No.
I do want to show a picture that is also making the rounds. It is, I did send you that picture of the guy being dragged by the helicopter in the sky. Do we have that?
Seen this.
Yeah, because you know what? Nobody's getting killed.
No. That's just a ride.
That is one of our Black Hawk helicopters. That is a U.S.-owned Black Hawk helicopter being flown by the Taliban with an Afghani interpreter that was used by the American forces being hanged and flown around the town for fun. But
that's just paratrooping in Afghanistan.
is that what they call it?
Yeah, they don't have a beach.
There it is. That is a legit picture. That is not photoshopped. That is an American Black Hawk helicopter being flown by the Taliban with a very public execution.
Why can't we
They hang the guy.
Why can't we just blow up that helicopter? I mean, really? Don't we have a missile?
It's my understanding that 62 planes and helicopters were disassembled to make them flightless. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if they just ran out of time or what the situation.
They don't know how to put them back together.
But there was a report that they made some of those, some of the material that flies, they made it so that they couldn't do it anymore. So I don't know why they didn't get to all of them. And maybe again, it was a time situation.
We'll get them back. A few $1 billion. We'll get it all back.
I'm not sure, but yeah. But you know what? I'm pretty sure that Biden said, and I don't know if we have the video where Biden says, no one's getting, everyone's getting out. We're getting everyone out and no one's being killed. Do we have that? I think I sent that to you overnight or yesterday or this morning. I'm not sure, Austin.
Give me a second.
You give me a second to look through it. Did you find the Laura Logan posted this tweet and she's formerly of 60 Minutes. Did you get that or not?
No, I haven't found that one yet.
You didn't? Okay. Let me. Okay, stop that.
Yeah, I don't think I have that particular Biden
Can I just say something? There is a little problem with the okay, so Laura Logan, who's a former senior US correspondent. Here is what she posted. House-to-house executions last night in Kabul following the military departure. So that is that situation.
What are you going to do? We 20 years and we didn't get the job done. And
so what is President Biden going to say today? The price. Is President Biden going to say anything?
He's going to say how great everything was. He's going to say how everybody did a great job and they're all heroes. That's what he's going to say. Yeah.
Here's a video of the Taliban walking through the hangar and looking at all their newfound toys.
Christmas.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Christmas.
It's like Christmas. Do we have that video with the Taliban walking? There we go.
Oh.
It's like, wow, we got boots. Look at this.
All right. We're here right now with the Taliban as they enter into what was only minutes ago, it was an American-controlled portion of the military airport. Now they've taken over.
We couldn't have put a few people on that helicopter and taken it off.
Why couldn't we have just blown that to Kingdom Come like we did the second ISIS attack that they knew was coming? They blew that car out of the water. Why couldn't we have just done that to everything we left behind to make everything non-workable? Why couldn't we have just lit that place up?
Because they promised not to use it, Kimberlina. They're not going to do anything with all that military equipment.
Oh, you mean like throw people out of helicopters and drag them around the city for everyone, public executions?
No,
that's
not going to happen.
That's
ISIS-K. That's not the Taliban.
Oh, it was the Taliban.
No, it's ISIS-K.
Just like it was the Taliban standing behind this news anchor, making sure he delivered the correct message. Look at this guy. Look at the guy standing behind him.
Yeah.
This is a news anchor. They're in the studio with him, making sure he's telling everyone within a, whoever can watch, that everything is cool and copacetic. There's nothing to worry about.
Think he's sweating a little bit?
The
That
Taliban is not going house to house and executing people.
No.
Nor are they dragging people up into helicopters and throwing them out and hanging them and then flying around to show everyone. They're not doing that. They want him to deliver the right message. See the guy's gun? They both have guns.
Yeah.
Say the wrong thing, we'll blow your head off right here in the middle of your newscast. That's exactly what that guy was told. He looks like he's about ready to poop his pants.
Now that's hazard pay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that the most ridiculous thing?
Only in third world countries. Maybe right? NBC News pretty soon.
But you know, this whole pulling out within just a couple of weeks, great idea. It was a fabulous idea.
It was an effing disaster.
That is, he has demonstrated that it was the longest war that we're going to get out no matter what. It was something that Trump had started in action, but the withdrawal did not happen deliberately and safely. He was under the impression, wrongly, I would say, that the Taliban wasn't going to take over immediately that soon. Way wrong. Bad decision. And that there was no circumstance where helicopters would need to be used to evacuate anyone. He was hugely wrong on all those points.
I mean,
now here we are.
I get leaving a tank or a truck or even a Humvee or something, but why are you leaving helicopters and planes? Don't they fly away?
They do.
I mean, can't you put people on them and fly away with them?
Here is General McKenzie. I think there's a video of General McKenzie, and he's talking about what a great job they did. Do we have? There we go.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
The completion of our withdrawal from Afghanistan and the end of the military mission to evacuate American citizens, third country nationals, and vulnerable Afghans. The last C-17 lifted off from Hamid Karzai International Airport on August 30th this afternoon at 3:29 p.m. East Coast time. And the last manned aircraft is now clearing the airspace above Afghanistan. We will soon release a photo of the last C-17 departing Afghanistan with Major General Chris Donahue and the U.S. Ambassador to Afghanistan, Ross Wilson, aboard. While the military evacuation is complete, the diplomatic mission to ensure additional U.S. citizens and eligible Afghans who want to leave continues. And I know that you have heard, and I know that you're going to hear more about that from the State Department shortly.
So 90 retired generals and admirals are calling for Austin and Milley to resign immediately over this disastrous withdrawal.
Yeah, he'll be the fall guy.
90 retired military generals and admirals demanding Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, of whom Biden is blaming this afternoon, Mark Milley, resign immediately. The calls for resignation are blamed on negligence in performing their duty. Well, that's an understatement.
Right.
Primarily involving circumstances with the disastrous withdrawal. Also said if Milley and Austin advised against the withdrawal, they should have resigned if President Biden didn't take their direction. They should have said, "We are sorry, sir. Then we are going to have to resign if you don't take our recommendation." They did not. The letter's signatories included Admiral John Poindexter, who served as President Ronald Reagan's national security advisor. I mean, these are guys that say, hey, listen, this whole thing was so screwed up. There needs to be massive resignations. And quite frankly, the president of the United States needs to step down as well.
I think Biden is probably going to say everybody did a great job.
I mean, and even a senator, the former top White House physician to President Obama, he says that he is calling into question Biden's cognitive fitness for the job. He is right. Senator Ronnie Jackson, former top White House official to President Obama, is calling into question whether President Biden is even cognitive. We know he's not.
Yeah, that's
we
going
can
nowhere.
Look at the guy and know he's not. Yeah. He's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
We want to give thanks to our sponsors. Of course, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, Taylor Heating and Cooling, Precision Lawn and Garden, and Express Sealers. We hope that you call them, you do business with them. If you have a problem with your heating and air conditioning, we hope you call Taylor 500 Help because they do a great job. They support us here at Kimberly's Revolution and the We the People Podcast Network, and we appreciate them. We could not do this job here in this building under the umbrella of the We the People Podcast Network without our sponsors. If you want to advertise, you can reach out to me or just Tom, and our emails are on the Revere Realty's website. Revere Realty,
Sure.
of course. Yeah, sure.
RevereRealty.com.
You can reach out to us on the We the People Podcast Network Facebook page.
Our sponsors pay the bills, so Kimberly and I don't get paid.
That's exactly right. We do not get paid. All right, this is going to piss you off. One of the 13 servicemen and women to be killed in Afghanistan.
Yeah, serious here.
By the ISIS suicide bomber was a kid who I think is 20 years old, right? And his mother met with she was supposed to meet with President Biden, but she did not. She's the mother of a Marine. He's 20 years old. Her name is Shanna Capel. Her son is Kareem Niku. He was killed on Thursday in the suicide attack. She was talking about there she is. There's Shauna. There's Shauna, and there is her son who was killed in Kabul in the suicide attack. She had her Facebook page and her Instagram disabled.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Come on.
They disabled her Instagram and Facebook page after she had gone on a rant about how Biden had blood on his hands.
Really?
Facebook temporarily deleted her Facebook page and her Instagram account because she publicly blamed President Biden and his death of her son and the other deaths on President Biden.
Well, who else are you going to blame?
And there it is. There is a senator saying that Shauna Capel, mother of the Marine, has had her Facebook and Instagram account suspended. Now, I think since this whole thing blew up and got really ugly very fast, her Instagram account has been reinstated. But they took it down because she was blaming President Biden for her son's death. And she had so many people that had started to follow her that they wanted to Facebook and Instagram owned by Facebook.
Right.
Wanted to be able to manage that.
Yeah, that's a bad look.
So they managed it by deleting her accounts. It's the American way, right? There's freedom of speech right there.
Every parent's worst nightmare right in that picture.
Shauna Capel is a Trump voter. Frequently posted about her dislike of President Biden. We can do that. We can all do that. On Monday, she posted a long Facebook post directed at Biden where she described meeting him on Sunday. She said she looked at him straight in the eye and told him that she didn't want to hear about his son Beau dying. She didn't care. She also alleged that then President Biden turned around, walked away, and threw his hands up in the air as if to say, whatever. So she posted that, and Facebook and Instagram took it down. I'm going to reach out and see if I can get Shauna on the show.
Yeah, that would be great.
So her accounts were suspended. That's what happens when you talk about your dead son who died in Kabul, thousands and thousands of miles away.
Kabul.
Where he shouldn't have been. But he enlisted. They sent him over. And there you go.
People in Chile call it Kabul.
And in Chile? Yeah.
Right.
So Facebook now
God bless
says.
you, Shannon. God bless you.
Facebook says it was an accident. Oh, we're very sorry.
Of course it was.
We deleted your Facebook.
Oops.
And Instagram, but it's an accident. We really didn't. They took her off because she said he wasn't president and said he cheated to become president.
Not my president.
Well, again, what does it matter? It's freedom of speech.
So what?
Honestly. It shouldn't matter. Her son was just blown to pieces by some dude who rides a camel. Right? Jesus.
Sure.
Just like the Taliban are on Twitter, but we have to do something about social media. It's kind of scary. When a mother can't vent over her son being killed overseas where he shouldn't have been to begin with, and had it been handled differently, he would not be dead, along with the rest of the 12 servicemen and women that are now no longer with us. But yeah, she said President Biden rolled his eyes and turned his back as she confronted him.
Jill?
That's sad.
Where are you, Jill?
That is very sad.
Oh,
That is a very sad situation.
It's disrespectful on every level.
Spell her name. You want to follow her. Okay, it is Shauna Chappell. SHANA CHAPELL. So it's Shauna CHANA Chappell CHAPELL. Deb, love this show. I'm working and having a hard time concentrating. I'm so angry about this country. You should be.
I have a hard time concentrating every minute, Deb.
We left combat dogs behind.
Bastards.
To be tortured. And when a mother of a Marine can't vent on social media, that's problematic. It's a very sad thing. There is a video interview with Sean Hannity and a couple of Gold Star dads.
Okay.
Their sons and daughters were killed in the suicide attack. One of them says it wasn't the first time President Biden checked his watch. I think we have video.
I'd like to know, when I saw Biden look at his watch, I was literally like, you got to be kidding me. Because all of this to me was preventable. Because we saw them on the march. You know, we had April, May, June, July to extradite everybody and our equipment. We didn't do it. There's no excuse to me for this. Why did you choose not to meet with the president, Darren?
For exactly the reasons you just gave. We said absolutely not. We didn't want to deal with him. We didn't want him anywhere near us. We as a family decided that was the way it was going to be. In reference to the checking of his watch, that didn't happen just once. That happened on every single one that came out of that airplane. It happened on every single one of them.
Wow.
They would release the salute and he looked down at his watch on every last one, all 13. He looked down at his watch. And as a father, you know, seeing that and the disrespect and hearing from his former leaders, one of his master sergeants said exactly what you just said, that this was avoidable, that they left them over there. They had them over there and let them down. And that we can't have that. It can't happen ever again.
And there we go. So that
Also
is
abandoned.
one of the Gold Star dads talking about how it wasn't the one picture isn't like a one-off. It wasn't like a, hey, it's 2:40. No. Happened multiple times.
Yeah, he was getting close to his nap time.
Why does he have to have afternoon news conferences? You think about that? Why is he having 3:00 in the afternoon pressers?
Yeah, Trump would have stayed there for 2 hours and answered everybody's question.
Let me just ask you this. President Biden is having a press conference this afternoon. He had a press conference last week in the afternoon. Why is he not doing press conferences when the entire nation is off work and after dinner around 7, like a normal press conference would be had? Does anyone?
That takes up his bridge time.
Does anyone understand that?
He's got his buddies come over and they play bridge.
At
And then
nighttime, that's when most
they put together puzzles.
they put together puzzles.
Yeah, they put together puzzles, and I think they have a shuffleboard court now at the White House in the basement. So he plays shuffleboard. He's got a lot of things he's got to do.
There is and I think I sent it to you, and I know I sent it to Austin. There is a COVID text. There was a text or is it a tweet? I'm not exactly sure what it is. It was a post that was somewhere. And this is a woman who is a doctor. I believe she's an OBGYN.
Yes.
At Unity. You saw this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Maureen. And someone's saying that Maureen Slattery, who is a doctor, and
not my doctor.
She says she's giving lesser care to those who are unvaccinated. There it is. You see it right there. She says, when you come into my hospital, I'm sorry.
How do you like them apples?
When did Unity become your hospital,
Right.
Maureen?
Right.
Are you paying the payments on Unity Hospital? Is the mortgage under your name? Are you president and CEO of Unity Hospital? When did Maureen Slattery become owner of Unity Hospital? When you come into my hospital,
right,
unvaccinated, dying of COVID, I'm giving my energy and resources to those who cared enough about me on the front line for the past 18 months and my young kids to get vaccinated. Sorry, not sorry. Ooh, those are ugly words, Maureen.
Yep.
Sorry, not sorry is going to get your ass kicked out of the hospital.
What if you're an illegal or somebody that doesn't have health insurance and you get stabbed and come in the hospital?
Choices are about to have big time consequences, Maureen says. I will choose not to help you when resources are limited because I care about me, not you. How do you like them apples?
How do you like them apples?
What?
She let everybody have it.
This is a doctor.
You're on blast, Kimberly.
This is a doctor. An OBGYN at Unity.
Wait a minute.
Phone number.
OBGYN, they treat COVID patients?
368-4455. Have at it, troops.
Wow.
Have at it. I didn't list the phone number. Someone else did. You see it right there.
Somebody with no insurance or somebody that's an illegal comes in with a knife wound. They're going to treat them, right?
Someone who's morbidly obese, weighs over 400 pounds, has a massive heart attack.
Smokes 17 cigarettes a day.
Maureen Slattery says, I'm not really going to help you. Local doctor, Maureen Slattery. There it is. Is Unity your hospital, Maureen? You took an oath as a doctor, you bitch. Do your job and shut up. That's what you're supposed to do. Do your job and shut up. Deliver babies. Do that. Oh no, I'm going to put my resources on people who are vaccinated. Screw you if you're not unvaccinated. That's what she's basically saying. She doesn't care if you eat at McDonald's 3 times a day and weigh, 380. That's okay with her. Or if you snort Coke every single day of your life, or if you're shooting heroin, those things she doesn't care about. But see how this whole propaganda is it's ridiculous. I do believe that more than 8,500 staff working for Canadian Border Services agencies or truck drivers have voted to begin strike as of today. We have video of some of the truck drivers basically pulling over. Do we have that?
This is in Canada?
It's in Canada.
Nice stereo in that truck.
Look at all the truckers. They're like, we're done. Right? Exactly. I don't know what the music has to do with this, and we're probably going to get dinged for that. But yeah, it's called Stop the Tires. Stop the Tires. So truckers planned an August 31st protest against mandatory COVID vaccinations. According to social media posts, a number of trucking organizations, trucker groups, plan to idle or stall their rigs to a crawl today.
Breaker 19, good buddy.
To protest mandatory workplace COVID vaccinations. So there's a guy who's an outspoken trucker against vaccinations. He's a TikTok user at Disrespected Truckers 3. Disrespected Truckers 3, which has millions of users, says On August 31st, which is today, we're asking that all truckers not go to work. If they're out on the road, shut your truck down. There are guys that plan on putting their trucks across the road to block traffic.
Really?
There's guys who plan on parking on the side of the road, parking at home and at truck stops.
That's going to help the supply line.
You think the supply lines were foobarred before.
Yeah.
What's going to happen if the backbone, the bread and butter, the blue collar workers of this country and of Canada just decide they don't want to play their stupid game anymore?
You're not getting your Amazon order in 2 days.
You're going to say that truckers get vaccinated or else?
Don't they work by themselves?
Truckers are going to give you the middle finger.
Right.
They don't have to go anywhere. Paul says, look, I got vaccinated. To me, it was no different than when I was in the military getting shots for everything under the sun. But if someone doesn't want to get their vaccination, it's their business. Absolutely, Paul.
Yep.
Listen, you know what? This isn't like all the vaccinations we got as kids, right? This isn't, polio was a bad thing for the most part. You got polio, you weren't recovering. It's not like the cold. It's not like 99% of us getting COVID and recovering. With polio, you were in those iron lungs. FDR had polio. He was on a walker and crutches. You weren't really allowed.
Trump had COVID.
I mean, honestly, most of us
Which one was
recovered.
worse, FDR with polio or Trump with COVID?
But yeah, so that is that. I don't know if that's happening in the United States or if it's just in Canada, but that was a picture early this morning in Canada. The video. Can we mute that and just show it again? Can we? I don't want to hear the music.
He had a really loud stereo, that guy.
Whoever it was. Yeah. I don't know if we can. No, we can't. We can't. Oh, you do? There it is.
All right. It's not as fun this way, though.
Yeah, that music is annoying AF, though. That's a big time. So there it is. All the truckers that were pulled over this morning.
Which I'd be following the guy with the Fritos in the truck.
Stop the Tires 2021. That's what it's called. Stop the Tires 2021. You're gonna make mandatory vaccination a thing where the truckers are gonna go on strike. And again, you think the supply chain is foobarred now.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to really have this.
The shelves at Wegmans are not going to be stocked.
Here's what I thought was funny. I did see something. I'm kind of addicted to videos on Instagram. I wish I don't have TikTok. God forbid if I were on TikTok, I'd never get anything done. But there was a really funny COVID video. And I want to share it with you guys because I thought it was so cute.
All right.
I think we can all relate. Here it is.
So one of the long-term symptoms of COVID is having no taste. Looking back, I think I've had it for years.
Is she funny?
Yeah.
That is funny to me.
Sure.
Can we play that again? That is funny. That's hilarious.
So one of the long-term symptoms of COVID is having no taste. Looking back, I think I've had it for years.
I completely get you. We talked to a lady when we were tailgating at the Hootie at Darius Rucker at CMAC on Sunday night. Talked to a lady that had come up to say hi. We'd offered her some potato chips. Hey, do you want any of our, you want cheese? You want grapes? Do you want any of our sausage? We've got everything here. And she goes, no, she had COVID. She recovered. Shocking. She got sick earlier this year, lost her taste for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
She is not vaccinated. I know. Isn't that hilarious, Heidi? I laugh so hard. She can't eat potato chips anymore because she says they taste like, and I don't know how she knows this. They taste like dirty diapers.
Yeah, that's something you do. Interesting.
I don't eat dirty diapers, so I don't know. But she says she just can't even get past. She used to love potato chips, but cannot eat potato chips anymore because whatever happened with her taste made things taste differently. And she ran off a whole list of things.
Well, that's a good side effect then.
Yeah, you would think you would lose weight, right?
Yeah.
I'll just tell you right now, I could go through an entire bag in a sitting of potato chips. I could just sit down. I love potato chips. I do. There's not anything I don't like. That is my problem. It's a new flavor, dirty diaper. You know how Lay's comes out with all the yeah.
Sour cream and dirty diaper.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was kind of interesting. There is, I wouldn't go to, or I'm sure Oregon has plenty of beautiful spots where Antifa hasn't ruined stuff. But Oregon is one of those states that has kind of lost their mind.
Yeah.
This is the governor of Oregon. Do we have that from yesterday? The governor of Oregon and what she is doing now. This is crazy.
Okay.
Today, I'm announcing that effective Friday, August 27th, masks will be required in all public outdoor settings where physical distancing is not possible, regardless of vaccination status.
Regardless of
Masks
vaccination.
have proven to be effective at reducing transmission and are a necessary measure right now, even in some outdoor settings, to help us fight COVID and to protect one another.
Okay. Okay, lady, you're crazy. We are mandating masks outside, regardless of vaccination, in the entire state of Oregon. And if you think this can't happen here,
it's coming.
You're mistaken.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people putting their foot down and saying, I'm not sending my kid back to school masking. We're just not doing it. And you shouldn't. It's child abuse. Those poor kids. Wearing the mask.
Like I said 6 months ago.
And by the way, this isn't normal wearing a mask. There's nothing normal about it.
Hold on.
And to make it seem normal.
That's the issue.
Is not right. Our kids, some of these parents out there, well, my kids don't mind it at all. Because you're bat crap crazy, lady.
Well,
you and your whole family are bat crap crazy. Why would you ever say, oh, my kids want to wear masks? They want to wear masks because you have you slammed it into their head. They've been brainwashed.
Yeah, they don't know the difference.
They don't know the difference. They're children. When I lock my kid in a cage, they like it.
No.
Because they don't know any better, right? Kids that are abused don't realize it's not the norm. Kids that are abused thinks it happens to everyone, right? That's why so many kids are afraid to say anything, because they don't know how they're being treated is wrong. Making children wear masks is not normal. It is horrible to have these kids think that everyone should go around with a cloth across their face.
Mm-hmm. They're used to it now. The kids don't know any difference. It's the parents that are making them do it.
It's like the story I told months ago where I was in Wegmans and I didn't have my mask on because I was like, I'm done with the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And the little girl who maybe was 7, Daddy, that lady doesn't have her mask on. She's going to get in trouble. That's the mindset. Screw that governor in Oregon and screw anyone who says that you have to wear a mask outside regardless of your vaccination status. How about,
How about now?
How about no? How about not happening?
How about now?
And again, that's not really my forte. And again, I don't have.
Sure sounds like it was.
It's awful. It's brainwashing and abuse at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
No kid should want to wear a mask across their face unless you're raised by bank robbers in 1870.
Jesse James's kids.
Jesse James's kid. Exactly.
Dad, why am I always wearing a mask? Just sit in the car, kid.
Do we have Tom's take
or the
for today on Kimberly's revolution?
Sit on the back of the horse and wear your mask. We might need it.
By the way, we appreciate our sponsors, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, Precision Lawn and Garden, Taylor Heating and Cooling, Taylor 500 Help, and Express Sealers. Please support our advertisers because they support us here and we wouldn't be able to do the show without them. You got Tom's take?
I do.
Yeah.
Couple of them. We'll just skip through a few of these. We'll do them fast. Artificial salt. How are you on salt? Are you a big salt? You like the potato chips?
No, I do, but I don't salt any of my food.
They say
I never salt anything.
They say that if you do artificial salt, which is a potassium substitute,
my mom does that
it'll save 460,000 lives a year. How do they know that?
Okay, how about this? Again,
some study in China.
It's like fat-free ice cream.
Right.
Just don't do it.
Right.
Just moderation.
There was this one.
Everything in moderation. They can take their fat-free ice cream and their imitation salt and they can shove it right up their backside.
There was this one article talking about future robots in the workplace and how women won't be sharing their jobs with robots. And I'm thinking, that doesn't make sense, right?
They're already sharing our job with the Roomba.
Well, they said so.
We're already sharing the job with the robot that vacuums the floor.
So
duh.
Apparently, they're saying that in 20 years, 7 million jobs are going to be lost because we're using robots. But somehow we're going to gain 7 million jobs doing something else. I don't know, solar panels. But the way the article was written, it was funny because it at first it looks like, well, it's slamming women. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Then you look at it and it says, no, it's because because teaching, nursing, social work, and counseling, which is dominated by females.
Right.
The robots aren't going to be able to do those jobs.
Right, because they don't have emotion.
So I got it all wrong. The article was all backwards.
Okay.
LED streetlights.
Why do we care?
They cut the population of insects by as much as 33%.
Not in my neighborhood.
Well,
there are like mosquitoes galore in my neighborhood. Is this a bad year for skeeters or
I
what,
don't
guys?
know. And then it goes on.
Honestly,
I think you're right.
Isn't it Patriots? Isn't it the worst season ever for mosquitoes?
So apparently,
skeeters 'cause I'm from
LED
Missouri.
lights,
Yeah.
control insect population.
Not
But
true.
anyways, it goes on and starts
Not
talking
true.
again about habitat. Well, it may not really be LED lights. It could be the loss of habitat and climate change. So we're protecting insects now.
Okay.
I mean, really? Insects.
Again, we're not at any kind of, we're not low on the totem
Insects.
pole when it comes to insects.
Insects.
They
We're
come to
protecting
Rochester.
insects.
There's a whole bunch of them.
Okay.
Bugs. See, Brittany says bugs are awful because it's been so rainy.
No, protecting insects now.
No.
Nike gave all their workers a week off from work to de-stress. They closed their corporate offices for an entire week and told everybody not to work for an entire week. The whole
Aren't there
company.
corporate offices in the Pacific Northwest?
They're doing that now.
Where now I just got to say,
So they're
everything is-
prioritizing mental health. So what do you think about that? Everybody gets a week off. We're closing it all down. If you're a stockholder in Nike,
Are you getting paid?
everybody got paid.
Everyone got
It
paid.
didn't work.
Is this in addition to your regular vacation?
Yeah. Interesting, huh? So a lot of companies now are just closing the doors for a week and just giving everybody a mental health vacation to de-stress themselves.
We're screwed.
Okay.
We're screwed. We're screwed.
So then there was this other article I looked at, and it was the last country in the world stop using leaded gasoline. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You remember when we were kids and it was like in the 70s and they stopped using leaded gas and unleaded gas? Remember?
All I remember are the gas lines. That's all I remember.
Remember they had regular gas and then they had and then it became regular unleaded and everybody.
You're older than me, so no.
But yeah, by like 6 months. So
By
anyway,
2 years.
2 years. Come on, not 2 years.
2 years.
So, anyways, apparently this has saved 1.2 million deaths annually in the planet because we stopped using leaded gasoline. And I was just interesting. So I was reading the article through it, and then it said, well, what did it eventually come down to? The article eventually came down to, well, now that we got rid of leaded gas, now we got to get rid of all gas.
Okay.
We've got to go to electric vehicles again with climate change and, electric vehicles and all that, same nonsense.
Yeah.
But the article the clickbait was the world is free of leaded gasoline, which is a good thing. But of course, now we're going to elect.
Because it's always something.
Yeah,
There's always something.
You finish
else.
one thing,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
always something else.
what's the next thing?
All right, back to the bugs. Chad says, and we're about out of time. Chad says, a skeeter on your Peter, whack it off.
There's a skeeter on your Peter, whack it off.
Whack it off.
There's a skeeter on your Peter, whack it off.
Whack it off.
There's a skeeter on your Peter.
There's a dozen on my cousin. You can hear the bastard
whack it
buzzing.
off.
Come on.
See yourself out, Chad. See yourself out. It's Chad LaDuke. And Brittany says a lot of the electric cars don't charge in cold temperatures.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so
A couple of other quick hitters real quick.
All right.
The least vaccinated sport, tennis, 50% vaccinated, pro tennis players. Mike Richards is officially out of Jeopardy. He's not coming back ever.
And Wheel of Fortune.
He's officially done.
And Wheel of Fortune. They took away his producing on not only Jeopardy, but also Wheel of Fortune. The guy was canceled
never
for
to be
what
seen
he said
again
on a podcast back in 2012. Think about that. For everyone who has said something, funny back at and again, he was having a conversation with his willing female producer,
right,
who was taking part in the conversation.
Well, he's done.
He's
officially
now,
done.
now out of a job.
Right.
He doesn't have any job now.
Well, good thing he's the smartest guy on the planet, so he should be fine. The $300 bonus for your unemployment claims ends September 6th.
Uh-oh.
And they're not going to renew it. 11 million jobless peoples. They're not going to extend that. And of course, last but not least, Swift Lot Service. My son-in-law, Donovan Santiago, 748-2026.
And what do they do? Power wash?
Power wash everything. God bless. Be kind to others.
Like what kind of everything? Everything.
We wash everything.
We will see you tomorrow at 4:00 right here at the We the People Podcast Network.
There's a skeeter on your Peter. Whack it off.
Whack it off.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor